And we all know the tragic and the devastating toll that COVID has taken on our country. In fact, more than 719,000 Americans have died from the coronavirus. And that's more deaths than any other country in the world. The first death in the U.S. from COVID came in February 2020. And now the conversation is beginning on how to honor those we've lost due to the pandemic. In fact, in a temporary memorial, more than 680,000 white flags line the National Mall. But what about permanent remembrance? NBC News Senior Digital political reporter Alex Seitz-Wald has been reporting on this and joins us now. Alex, what are you hearing, in these conversations about a national COVID memorial? And frankly, how soon could we actually see one come to life?
Yeah, this is a question that a lot of architects, artists, designers are already starting to think about, and not just here, but around the world. The UK government has started a commission to begin studying a potential permanent memorial. And some American architects have already proposed ideas too. But it's a really tricky question because we don't really know what a pandemic memorial should look like. We don't have a lot of examples of it. It's not something that we're familiar with. I talked to Daniel Liebeskind, who was the designer of the master plan for the World Trade Center site after 9/11. And he called this unprecedented, just the vastness of it. And as he put it, the idea that behind every number of those killed, there's a name, and behind every name, there's a story.
Right.
So how do you get at that individual loss while telling the whole perspective? How do you make it site specific while getting at the global perspective here? And, the National Mall would be an obvious place to put this. But as for timing, the law technically says you have to wait 25 years after a historic event before you can honor it. But Congress, which would have to approve this anyway, can make an exception. So, these things will take a while, but there is definitely some urgency among those people touched by COVID. They want to see something sooner.
And can we get a sense here and just stay on that beat for a moment here, Alex? I mean, from the people that you've talked to, why is it so important psychologically to have a permanent national memorial to the victims of COVID?
Yeah, I've heard a number of things. And the one that really stood out to me was that because of the nature of this loss, so many people died alone. Their family members couldn't come, couldn't visit. They couldn't be surrounded by friends. They couldn't have a traditional funeral. So the idea of having a place that you could go to remember not just, your father or your whoever it was, your loved one who was killed, but to see them as part of this much larger international saga, this tragedy that was experienced by so many, I think is really important to a lot of people. And another thing that I heard is that they felt like there's been efforts to downplay the pandemic or deny it. And so to see some kind of big monumental physical location would be really affirming to them, as this was real, this was a real loss, and it was something that the entire world recognized as real.
All right, NBC's Alex Seitz-Wald. Alex, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.